Hi, everyone. I hope we are all having a great day. My name is Ryan Costello, and today I'll be presenting my findings of the completed workplace inspection for the Whispering Pines orchid. I'll cover my main findings, the hazards identified, and my recommendations for employee safety improvements at the workplace. The Whispering Pines orchid is based in Yakima, Washington, and employs 17 full-time workers. The main activities of these workers involves planting, picking, pruning, harvesting, and shipping their fruit products. The Whispering Pines Orchid is a family-oriented workplace where safety and communication are valued. A majority of employees are Hispanic, of low socioeconomic status, and experience language barriers, which can impact how effectively safety information is communicated. The chemical hazard mevanfos was detected at a level of 0.04 milligrams per cubic meter over an 8-hour shift. Prolonged exposure to this chemical used as a pesticide on the orchid is a concerning safety hazard. Exposure has been linked to long-term neurological damage. It was also observed that many workers did not have access to all required PPE equipment or were not fully correctly following PPE guidelines. Physical hazards were identified as hot temperatures that are especially hazardous during the peak summer season. With limited access to shade and hydration stations, outdoor workers are at risk of heat stroke and other physical injury. Indoor facilities were observed to have poor ventilation and tripping hazards. There are also ergonomic risks, specifically for outdoor workers who perform repetitive movements, lift heavy objects, and stand for prolonged periods. These factors can lead to musculoskeletal injuries in the neck, shoulder, and back for outdoor workers. Overall, I recommend increased shade hydration stations and investing in ergonomic equipment to relieve the physical stress for outdoor workers. Potential safety hazards were observed in the machinery used, especially for workers who use the tractors. Without regular inspections and the uneven terrain present in the orchid, there is a risk of the tractors tripping, leading to the physical injury for the operator. Organizationally, employees work long hours during peak summer harvest season, which compromises the physical safety of workers. Communication and language barriers between English and Spanish-speaking workers increase the chances for miscommunication. Limited breaks provided to outdoor workers can also lead to fatigue. I recommend that the Whispering Pines Orchid implement scheduled machinery inspections, implement mandatory breaks for outdoor workers, and group multilingual workers together to reduce the risk of miscommunication. Cultural barriers were also present at the Whispering Pines Orchid. The most alarming was the lack of accessible restrooms for outdoor workers. OSHA requires restrooms to be less than a quarter mile away from workers at all times. In interviews, workers describe being more than half a mile away at some times, which compromises their health and safety. Safety training sessions are conducted in English, meaning translations are needed for some workers. This increases the chances of mistranslations and misunderstandings. Gender-neutral bathrooms were also not present at the Whispering Pines Orchid, so I recommend constructing more accessible and gender-neutral restrooms, as well as offering multilingual, culturally sensitive training. After viewing the health surveillance data provided by the supervisors, the total recordable injury rate of last year was 4.8 per 100, which was the highest recorded in the last 3 years. Most injuries occurred from heat stroke and overexposure to pesticides. Currently, there is no formal medical surveillance system in place at the organization. So I recommend that supervisors establish a scheduled wellness and health check system, increase monitoring of pesticide levels, and provide more shaded break areas for outdoor workers to reduce heat stroke injury. Using the hierarchy of controls, the Whispering Pines orchid should address chemical hazards by improving PPE equipment and investing in an advanced indoor ventilation system. For physical hazards, shaded break areas should be constructed where mandatory hydration breaks will be required for all workers. For ergonomic hazards, ergonomic tools can be provided for outdoor workers to reduce the risk of injury from repetitive movements. Lastly, safety hazards can be addressed by stabilizing uneven surfaces and enforcing PPE for machinery operators. In summary, the Whispering Pines Orchid is a workplace that prioritizes the safety of its workers. However, improvements can be made in the PPE compliance, hydration for outdoor workers, communication, and health surveillance. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to my workplace inspection of the Whispering Pines Orchid. I hope you all have a great day.